Hello, this is D, and I'm back with another video. Today we have a host of things to discuss. Now, we're going to briefly talk about Xbox Series X, or I should say the Xbox console, and everything that went down yesterday, and then we're going to get directly into some PlayStation 5 Pro info. Now, first, let's start off with Microsoft's campaign yesterday, where they ran an ad on their site saying that everything is an Xbox. Now, I gotta be honest with you, a lot of people were caught off guard by this, but the writing is on the wall. Now, previously I reported that Phil Spencer did an interview with Bloomberg where he discussed no red lines. So Halo, Gears, Forza, none of them are safe. He doesn't think any of those games are too sacred to put on other platforms. And then a day after that, they presented the ad that you're seeing right now. This is an Xbox, showing an Xbox. This is an Xbox, showing your laptop. Now, I gotta be honest with you, a laptop can be like the Xbox experience because you have the Xbox UI, you have Game Pass, you have access to your games. You don't have access to every single Xbox game though. I do want to point that out because your old catalog, obviously you're not going to play that on a laptop. So I gotta call them out here and say that is actually false. Your laptop is not an Xbox, however, it can play Xbox games and give you that Xbox experience. They show that a Rogue Ally is a Xbox and that a Catbox is a Catbox, not an Xbox. They go on to show you that a television is an Xbox, your phone is an Xbox, a Fire TV stick is your Xbox, even an Oculus Quest 3 is an Xbox. And they go on to say that an Xbox Series S is still an Xbox. Now, I gotta be honest, it was kind of a funny ad and it kind of does drive home the point. I'll give them that. But at the same time, it's not the true Xbox experience. You're not gonna get the true Xbox experience on a Fire TV. Okay, now let's switch over to some PlayStation 5 Pro news. Now, Digital Foundry, they did an analysis on Remedy's Alan Wake 2 patch for the PlayStation 5 Pro. Now, a lot of gamers are jumping out the window on here saying that it's not giving us 4070 performance or it's not up to par. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys here, we don't dodge anything over on this channel. We always address things. Now, I will say that the CPU that is inside of the PlayStation 5, obviously, it's not as good as we would like it to be. Now, ray tracing is extremely demanding, and of course, you're gonna need that CPU in that instance. Now, guys are just using this one game like it's some type of metric on the PlayStation 5 Pro's performance overall. Now, it is one game, and I will say that the results leave a lot to be desired. I wish that it was resolving at a higher resolution, and Digital Foundry pretty much says this, that the resolution that they're using is a little bit low for PSSR, and it doesn't give you the same results that other games are getting using PSSR. Now, Ratchet & Clank, it's getting a better resolve. Spider-Man is getting a better resolve. Dragon's Dogma 2 is getting a better resolve. And the thing that all these games have in common is that they're using PSSR from a higher resolution. They're using it from like 1260p, 1440p, and higher, where this game is using it from 854p. Although it is resolving a pretty good image, it isn't quite there as a solid 4K image. And I think it really comes down to optimization. I think this game will get some more patches, but also at the same time, this game was heavily sponsored by NVIDIA for ray tracing. And I just don't think we're gonna get the same type of performance on AMD hardware. Now, somebody else actually pointed out that the 7800 XT is 11% faster in the same type of test on PC. Now, I gotta be honest with you, a 7800 XT is actually faster than a 4070. It's quite a bit faster. Now, if this game is getting 11% faster than a PlayStation 5 Pro, that is a pretty good result. A 7800 XT is not a cheap GPU. Now, the 4070 in this same game, it outperforms the 7800 XT. Now, I'm just gonna be honest with you guys here. On PC games that are sponsored by NVIDIA, they have all kinds of optimization for NVIDIA hardware, and they tend to run better over there. And I think this is one of those cases. Now, people wanna cherry pick this game, but there's other games out there that are outperforming a 6800 XT, that are on par with a 4070 in rasterization, like Dragon's Dogma 2. Now, I'm gonna put this up on the screen here so you guys can see it for yourself. Now, NX Gamer actually tested this game with a 6800 and a Ryzen 5600X CPU. Now the CPU is more performant than the CPU that is inside of the PlayStation 5 Pro. The 6800, some people want to say that the PlayStation 5 Pro is comparable to a 6800. It's beyond a 6800. They do have some similarities, but the PlayStation 5 Pro is going to outperform the 6800 in a majority of games. So I don't think that's even debatable. Now, anyways, he ran the test. And as you can see on the screen here, I'm gonna just let it roll and I'll come back and I'll kind of finish my thought.
Performance mode holds on to pretty close to that 60 FPS lock, which isn't possible on my PC powered with a 5600X. The CPU is the limit over there on the PC side, again, which I've covered before, and it certainly struggles heavily. Here, I can hold close to 60 FPS most of the time, and even inside the pub, all the people milling around the inn do not impact the CPU heavily, but the quality mode with PSSR has a far better image quality, and it really stands up to looking significantly better than the original title on PS5, and that was much better than the Series X. So PSSR here is likely using a much newer version, and it's been tailored better within the engine, and therefore it hands down is a better example of PSSR over Stellar Blade, which looks pretty good in certain places.
So as you can see, even on PC, the CPU was bottlenecking him, and he was getting less performance than the PlayStation 5 Pro. He was getting significantly less performance than the PlayStation 5 Pro. Now, if we want to use the 4070 metric in this game, in this instance, the PlayStation 5 Pro was performing like a 4070. Linus Tech Tips actually built a PC to compare with the PlayStation 5 Pro. Now, they were doing some type of, budget PC build where they were using a lot of cheap parts, and they were like, getting extremely cheap parts to try to match the PlayStation 5 Pro. And even in the end, they still couldn't match it hardware for hardware. Now, with that said, they tested out their rig that had a better CPU, that had a 7800 XT GPU in it. And the PlayStation 5 Pro was more than holding its weight. Now, when it came to machine learning AI, obviously the PlayStation 5 Pro did a better job. Now, there were a few trade-offs where the 7800 XT did beat it in certain areas, but for the most part, PlayStation 5 Pro's PSSR was doing a much better job. Now, machine learning AI is only going to get better in time. And Digital Foundry actually said that with their Alan Wake 2 review. They said that this technology, it's like DLSS, and DLSS has an advantage because it has a lot of iterations. They said that PSSR has the potential to look just like DLSS. They just need more time and more iterations of the software. And of course, this is going to happen over time. Now, PSSR coming out the gate, delivering what it is delivering already is really good. Now, DLSS and XESS, when they first came out, they weren't doing as good as PSSR. So the sky is the limit for this technology. Now, with that being said, Linus Tech Tips found that the PlayStation 5 Pro was doing a better job at Ratchet and Clank. They also called The Last of Us Part 2. They said the textures were better on the PlayStation 5 Pro. Also, the frame rate was better on the PlayStation 5 Pro. They kind of called it a tie because they said the image quality looked about the same. Now, this is a 7800 XT. They also tested out Dragon's Age, and they preferred it on the PlayStation 5 Pro. There were a few little things with FSR, and that's just like nitpicking at it, but overall, the PlayStation 5 Pro, it was a smoother gameplay experience. Its HDR looked better.
Confetti in there?
Inside, yeah.
I think mine is just going to crap. FSR has no idea what to do with it.
It's pretty bonkers.
There's a lot of motion artifacts in it. And it's clear that the PS5 Pro's upscaling is doing a much better job here. Like, it's really hard, but if you can catch one with your eye and try to follow it around, you can follow a piece of confetti around yours. Mine, good luck.
Yeah.
That's just a garbled mess.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Overall, the motion is still there. It's moving clockwise or whatever, but those are individual objects, and that's just, it's shredded, almost, looking. My foliage doesn't look way worse than yours here, though. Oh, my trees do, though.
Those background?
Yeah, the background trees look so flat.
Should we change
lifeless.
the settings?
I think this is an L.
I think the PS5 Pro might take the win on this one. I have everything set to high, but I think we're gonna wanna mess with the settings again to enable the pro rendering mode. Here we go. Yes.
We reset these displays right before we started, and when we were using them for PS5 versus PS5 Pro on short circuit, they looked the same.
I thought Windows 11 HDR was supposed to be good.
Hey, did I load first?
I think you might have loaded faster than the PS5 Pro.
Got him.
Oh, no, just
Dang
kidding. Between the two. Wow, that is remarkably close. I feel like your hair is better, but maybe just at an angle. It's true. I think your textures are worse. That's pretty bad.
If they are, it's not by much, dude.
I think, like, the photos are a little bit clearer here. I don't know if that's a PSSR thing, because it looks like it's doing some weird work on their shirts.
Yeah. Dude, I would rather have the softer photo than the like shimmery line on it.
It's distracting.
Are you getting a good solid 60 FPS?
Oh yeah, this is very 60 FPS-y.
Me too.
Looks like your 1% lows are a little bit lower, but I wouldn't be able to tell.
Not with any kind of variable refresh rate.
The fact that we can be this close to the screen and not tell the difference, I think tells the story.
Yeah, they both look great.
They both look fantastic.
I think we could call this a close enough.
Yeah.
So what are we doing here? This is a 7800 XT, which is ranked in the GPU hierarchy higher than a 4070. So people really need to stop with all of this nonsense. For $250, $300 more, you're getting a substantially better system over the base PlayStation 5. I saw another user post this, and I'm gonna completely agree with this. If I want the experience on console that is the closest to PC, I'm going to play my games on a PlayStation 5 Pro. Now today I announced that PlayStation 5 Pro Black Ops 6 Warzone had an optimization patch for the PlayStation 5 Pro, and it is blowing away the performance on the Series X. Now, PSSR on Black Ops 6 is running at a higher res at 4K 60 Hz. It's using better settings. The PlayStation 5 Pro quality settings are higher quality shadows, ambient occlusions, reflections, screen space, global illumination that is not available on the base console. If you want pure performance, there's a 120 FPS mode that runs the same image quality as the base PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X does at 60 FPS. So the base model that the quality image is displayed on the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X that runs at 60 FPS is running double the frame rate on the PlayStation 5 Pro at 120 Hz. And from what I'm hearing, it locks there. Now, before the patch happened, if you just played this game on the PlayStation 5 Pro, it gave you better image quality, or I should say resolution, and it gave you a locked 120 FPS, where the Xbox Series X in that same mode, it was jumping up between 100 and 120. On the PlayStation 5 Pro, once again, it was a locked 120 FPS without any type of wavering before the patch. So right there, this should tell you that the PlayStation 5 Pro is the best place to play your console games. Now, on that same post that I informed gamers of the patch for the PlayStation 5 Pro and the performance it would give, somebody asked, does it blow away a 4090? Which is absolutely ridiculous. Who is comparing the PlayStation 5 Pro to a 4090, which is a near 2K GPU by itself alone? Without the system, it's $2,000 US with taxes. What are we doing here? This is unbelievable. You can't compare that to a PlayStation 5 Pro. And I simply said that. And in the same breath, they said a Pro is $800 and the X isn't a new console model, but here you are comparing them. Like, what are we doing here? Of course, we're gonna compare the Series X to the PlayStation 5 Pro. Microsoft themselves said that this is their next generation refresh. Xbox owners have said that there is no need for a Pro, or that the PlayStation 5 Pro is not better, or that the PlayStation 5 Pro is simply just catching up to the Series X, or this most outlandish claim that the PlayStation 5 Pro is now just getting machine learning AI features that the Xbox Series X had first, and Microsoft is now going to deploy an update that will allow that feature to be used on that console. It's absolutely ridiculous. But because of all of these copes, because of all of these gamers saying these things, of course we are going to compare it. It's just the way that tech goes. You always compare it against something else. When the 5090 comes out, we're going to compare it against the 4090. And when we have a bunch of super fanboys in denial, in cope, trying to say that the Series X is as good as the PlayStation 5 Pro, or saying that the PlayStation 5 Pro is not much better, then of course we are going to compare it. So I just gotta be honest with you guys, for the next 2 years, these comparisons, they're gonna be stinging. And I already see guys trying to come up with excuses for this console not to be compared to the Xbox Series X. They're already tired of it, and the console's not even been out 2 weeks yet. So can you imagine how these guys are gonna feel 6 months, 7 months down the road, or next year when GTA 6 lands? These guys are going to be in their feelings. Now, over the weekend, I will have some benchmarks up of the games that I have been testing. I'll have some graphs up so you guys can see the performance. We're gonna test different modes, and these are games that I have not tested already on the channel. So we're gonna get some new gameplay from PlayStation 5 Pro games. So make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and hit the notification button so you guys know when this video is live. Anyways, I want to know what you guys think about all this. Like I said, the PlayStation 5 Pro is more than worth it for me. We're seeing an uptick of 50% in frames in a lot of games. Games are going up from 60 to 120 FPS, and that is extremely impressive for a console that people said is barely more powerful than the Xbox Series X. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Like I usually say, please like, share, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one.